You know, it's like they say, if you don't write down history and have it documented for you can look back at it, humanity will repeat their mistakes. And I think that's the best way to summarize this chapter when it comes to Sasaki and what he's currently doing with Shu at the end of this chapter. But I'll save that for later in this video. For now, though, hello everybody. Today I'm here to bring all of you my Chapter 50 of Tokyo Ghoul review, and I quickly want to mention something before I even get into talking about this chapter. There is something very important I need to mention. Last week, I made a grave error, and I admit I make mistakes, I am human. I made a grave error in the video, my last analysis, where I was talking about how you had it to where the twins, Kuro and Shiro, that they had their ribs taken out by Eto. Well, I was incorrect. I knew it was incorrect, but I put an annotation, but there was some that didn't see the annotation and then posted in the comments. But let me explain and then say, yes, I was incorrect. It was Banjo that got his ribs removed, so maybe Eto only attacks males. She only attacks males and rips out the ribs. But now that I said that, though, the reason why that was in the video, I noticed it when the video was done rendering, but since the videos usually take 5 hours to render if they're that long, I just decided to, you know what, just fuck it, leave it in. I'll put an annotation and then I'll put a comment down and let you know. But there was some that did not realize that, so I'm clarifying right now that yes, Kuro and Shiro did not have the ribs taken out by Eto. It was Banjo. Now that I said that, sorry for my mistake. Please forgive me. I make mistakes too. Let's get into this chapter. So, we are on Chapter 50, big number 50. It's been a little bit over a year now since Tokyo Ghoul has been publishing, and to see how it's come this far, good job, Ishida. So, I just want to say right now, the chapter starts off with Kijima getting his fucking head filleted open. Holy shit. His head is getting filleted open. It continues the brutality of last week's chapter, and you just see Fujima, and you just see Kijima is like, cheese. What the fuck is that? Okay, so, I'm gonna be honest here. If that's some symbolism, or if I'm missing something, maybe Tokyo Ghoul Gel has more about it, because I know Tokyo Ghoul Gel focuses a lot on Kijima as a character. Maybe that's why he says cheese, but this dude says, say cheese. His final lines is like, say cheese, I want cheese. What the fuck? Of all deaths I've seen in Tokyo Ghoul, this is one of the most bizarrest deaths I think I have seen. Just, it's not even, I don't even know if it's sad or not. Like, it's just, this character's getting his head cut open, and he's like, say cheese. What the type of shit is that? Where do you even... I don't know what Ishida's trying to imply. I personally really do not. So I'm going to leave it to you, Chibits. If you know whatever symbolism this is, or if you've played Tokyo Ghoul Gel and you know more about Kijima than I do, because I haven't played the game, and it's not really translated in English, so I haven't got to play it. So if you know anything about this and why cheese is mentioned on his final lines, if this has some relevance to Kijima and maybe his past life or something, please let me know in the comments, because I am unaware. I'm just going to say that right now. But it's still weird lines to say right before you just kick the bucket. I mean, your final line saying, I want cheese. Is that really the final line you want if you were to die? Like, I mean, think about it. Your head's getting filleted open, and if you have time to say something, would you really want to say, I want cheese? Think about it. I mean, what? You know what? Let's just fucking move past it, okay? So I'm going to move over to page 3, since, you know, page 2 is the color page. Okay, so you have it to where Kijima's like, roar! Fucking roaring and shit as his head's getting cut open. I want to take a few moments to say, Ishida, what's with, I know you've always had this, brutal mentality when it comes to your series. I mean, you have this gore, you have, limbs coming off and stuff, but these latest chapters of Tokyo Ghoul, especially, this arc going on, there's a lot of limb loss. There's a lot of blood, a lot of violence. I mean, just seeing Kijima get his head filleted open, I mean, you see, like, his head split open, you see his, like, teeth just separating. It's disturbing. Very, very fucking disturbing. And, I mean, I wonder what has gotten into Ishida recently, because there's a lot of limb loss in recent chapters, and Damn, hopefully I'm not the only one to notice this, because I've noticed for the past couple chapters now, it's been like this. And I mean, it's not bad. I'm just like, holy crap, Ishida, you're really going all out for your 1-year anniversary. You're just killing off characters, showing the violence, the blood, and yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to point out, though, is as Kijima has gotten his head split open and he's like falling down, you have it to where Matsume just finishes him off on top of his head where it's at, and he falls down. He's like, "Rawr," fucking just, he falls down. So, yeah, I mean, seeing how Matsume just fucking penetrates Kijima just straight up through the gut. I love Matsume, but it's sad what happens during the... She'd always killing off fucking characters that Garo connected to. That's fucked up, man. But yeah, I'll save that just for a moment. So yeah, Kijima, if you thought he was alive, like, if you were denying or thinking he was alive, well, he's done. Like, I know there was many in last week's chapter, even myself included, I was slightly thinking about, would Kijima really die? Like, I mean, seriously, with this guy that has so much importance about him, would he really die this easy? I mean, that was my big question I was wondering about, because he has so much importance. I mean, look at Tokyo Ghoul Jail, look at how his character's been perceived in this entire arc. I mean, I was wondering, like, why would Ishida kill off a character like this? I mean, as I've already said once before, usually when Ishida kills off characters, there's meaning behind it. There's everlasting meaning that carries on with certain characters, and it will stay with them until the bitter end. I mean, look at how Mato's death was. It's stuck with Toka, it's stuck with Almond, it's stuck with Akira. You know, Mato's death, that stuck with them. And then also seeing how Haru died in last week's chapter, which shocked many fans. I know many fans were fucking shocked. I saw those comments. The thing is, Haru's death is probably going to lead into development for Arima, or finding out more about Arima's past. That's what her entire death was about. I feel like she's just opening up the door to finding out more about the garden along with Arima. That's all I think Haru was about when it came to that death. There could be a lot more, but that's what I really think was trying to be implied with her death. So yeah, Kijima, with his death, honestly, at this moment, since I haven't played Tokyo Ghoul Jail, I don't know much about Kijima. I don't know his past, and nothing really has been revealed in the said manga. See, like I said, I don't know if it's been revealed in the game, but in the manga, I don't know much about Kijima. We just know his face has been filleted, he's lost a leg. I mean, he just straight up has a weird personality. He has this mystery about him. He's been, I guess, theorized to be a V employee. I mean, I even theorized, the way he tipped his hat to the symbols on him, he stood out as someone to be V. And who's to say he still wasn't V, and he got killed like this, but still, at this moment in time, I don't know what type of meaning Kijima has as a character. Like, what he really stood for. Besides setting up the arc, of course. That's it. So, if you have your own theories about that as well, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next page. So, Kijima hits the floor, he's done, and you have it to where everybody, his, subordinates behind him, are just looking around and are like, Kijima, he's dead. And then, you have it to where Matsume's thinking in her mind's like, Yuma, Aliza, Myro, I've avenged you all. And as, Matsume's just contemplating what she just did, the subordinates start talking about their situation amongst themselves, and they have it to where, like, they're by themselves. They have to fight by themselves. And you have it to where Furuta, he looks over at Kijima's corpse, and he looks like he's the type of character, at first glance, looking at him right here, that's just very, very fucking scaredy cat, like he's a coward, like he's a pansy. The best way to describe his character is just looking at him like this. Just looking at his character from these first couple panels, he looks like a pansy. I'm sorry, that's what he looks like. But then, as the dialogue continues on, this is what they say. It seems like they'll need a couple more minutes to get here. We'll have to manage somehow. Couple minutes? Okay. And then this is what the dude, like, I guess the main subordinates that's taken charge, like the guy that's taken charge, he starts saying this in his mind. Among the first-class investigators we have here are the associate special class minion pissing his pants, and that guy who carries Haru's stuff. God damn it, I'll take care of this myself. So the leader, the guy that's taking the initiative to lead the charge, is like, okay, so everybody else is pretty much fucking useless. I'm gonna have to do this myself. And so he's like, I'll stand in front. Rank 1 Furuta, stand behind me. That's what this dude says. So, all in all, everything looks well. I mean, Matsume's about to charge. I mean, this looks like it's GG for the CCG right now, because, I mean, look what Matsume just did to Haru and also Kijima. She just fucked their fucking shit up. So, seeing these three fodders, to be honest, let's just be fucking real here. Just seeing these three fodders almost, just saying like, oh, we can do this. Let's just say we probably are all laughing at this moment. Well, next page comes up, and all of a sudden, you see the dude that was taking charge get stabbed straight through. And when I saw this, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, my reaction was like, what the fuck? Because if you look behind him, to the right of him, well, it's to his left if you're, facing his direction. But, I mean, to the right of him on the panel, you see it to where Furuta is like, okay. And he literally is grabbing this dude on the back. And he moved him in front of him. Okay, so this is where the big beef of this review is going to be about. It's about Furuta. I think we can all say right now Furuta is strange. We can all say after seeing this panel, I mean, going back, no, just go back 2 pages. Just go back 2 fucking pages, and Furuta is an entirely different person. He's a different person entirely. The way he acts, keyword there, the way he acts is so different from the way he's acting now. Because, look at his character at the beginning of the chapter, how he's been perceived. He's a pansy. He looks like a fucking pansy. Look at what he was doing at the earlier stages of this chapter. Then look at this, he grabs this man that was taking charge and willing to risk his life. He grabs him, throws him in front of him, and uses him as a fucking meat shield. He uses this dude as a meat shield. If that is not strange, I don't know what is. But that's not just it. That goes against common CCG tactics. Just to do something like that, there's something fucked up there. So, let me just quote what they're saying, and then I'll discuss it. So, the dude that's beside Furuta, the guy that's uninjured, the one that was holding Haru's stuff, says this, Rank 1 Furuta, what the heck are you doing? And he's like, I'm sorry. Sorry my ass? What do you think you're doing? Standing behind him. And then you have it where Matsume says this, using your colleague as a shield? Do you not have any respect for them? And then he's like, huh? And he's just shaking his hand. He's like, huh? And if you go down the page, you have it to where the dude that got stabbed, he just looks around, he turns his eye, looks around, he's like, what's the meaning of this? And then he's like, well, no. And it just stabs fucking Matsume in the eyes. Okay. I want to stop looking for the panels right now, and I'm just going to discuss this. So, Matsume asked the question, do you have any respect for them? Matsume asked that question. Because she's curious. Like, right now, think about the situation. Matsume is laying down her life for the person she cares about, Shu, the Tsukiyama family. Everybody that is ghouls right now in this building is laying down their life for the Tsukiyama family. So, they have respect for their fellow colleagues. Now that we got that across. Now, Matsume asking this question makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, look what Myro just did for her. And so, asking this, like, do you not have any respect? And then all of a sudden, he's like, well, no. And then just stabs Matsume in the eyes. So, for that to happen, it lets you know that this dude doesn't care about his colleagues at all. He doesn't care. Does this mean he just doesn't care about them individually? Does he not care about humans? Does he not care about CCG? What exactly does he not care about? Now, let's go even further. Let's dive deeper into this, okay? Matsume is a ghoul. A highly skilled ghoul at that. Look what Matsume has done these past couple chapters. Matsume, at the very least, was finding out someone as skilled as Haru. So it goes to show you how strong, or what type of level Matsume is. Because, I mean, Haru was kind of like a mini Arima. That's kind of what Haru was like. And then seeing Matsume defeat this person, or Myro defeat this person, and, all of a sudden you have it to where Matsume defeats Kijima, it goes to show you her level of skill. She's a really strong ghoul. Don't fuck with Matsume. That's instantly what you get from that. But then, all of a sudden, this ghoul that has been wrecking these two gets her eyes plucked out. Just fucking jabbed out. Now, there's many ways you could take this. For one, you could say, okay, maybe Matsume was just startled. Maybe didn't know how to react. Because, I mean, she let her guard down. She saw this dude kill his own subordinates. She didn't know how to react, and her reaction time was off. That's a possibility. But then, you see this, though, and you think about it like, there's no way in fuck a ghoul that's supposed to have stronger strength, be stronger than a human, all around stronger than a human, could be defeated that easy by a human. Now, we do know the eyes of a ghoul are not the strongest part, which is probably why he aimed for the ghoul's eyes, Matsume's eyes, but still, the speed of how he reached Matsume was ridiculous, because just look at his position in the panel right before he stabs Matsume's eyes. This dude that got stabbed by Matsume is right there, okay? He is right there being stabbed. You have it to where Furuta, he's right behind. So that would mean that Furuta would have had to have pushed this dude to the side and then rush Matsume and stab her in the eyes. So Matsume would have had the time to, at the very least, have reacted some way. Now, you could say maybe Matsume was stuck inside of, the dude's body. I mean, look, she is impaling him. That might be a possibility, but I don't believe so. I really don't. Because I don't think Matsume would make such a crucial error like that. So, this dude pushed aside a human, a big-ass fucking human dude. That is a big dude. Got pushed aside. And then proceeded to stab Matsume in the eyes. That means he had to push someone, lean over, and then jab. With that amount of force to do something like that. That is some speed. There is no way in fuck a normal human can do that. Now, we do know there are certain humans that can do that. I mean, Almon, Kuroiwa. I mean, we know certain ghouls, or certain humans can do something like this. But it's easier to assume that this dude is a ghoul. So, why the fuck is a ghoul in CCG? Unless this is our mole. You remember in the auction raid? Remember when the auction was going down, we got to see, Clown again in Tokyo Ghoul Re, we got to see Uta, Mutsuki was captured. You remember all that. Remember that entire ordeal with that arc. I think everybody probably remembers. Well, if you remember, you had it to where it was implied that Uta had a mole, or someone snuck inside of CCG. Because I remember having a giant-ass review on that, actually. If you go back to my playlist of Tokyo Ghoul, I have a review on that. I have a title something like Uta the No-Face or the Mole or something along the lines of that. I have a Tokyo Ghoul review of the previous chapter about that. I talked about that. And we know there is a spy inside of CCG. And after seeing this and how this person acts, keyword once again, it makes me assume that this guy is the spy that's giving Clown their information. What if this guy is the clown? He is a clown, but also this dude is someone we have known for a long time, but just haven't realized. So, let me explain. I know some of you are probably like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? Because I know some are going to be asking that. There is, I guess, 2 possible theories, but I guess I'm just going to say 3. 3 theories. Number 1, he's Clown. He's the spy. He's the fucking spy that is giving Clown their information. Number 2, Furuta, is Uta. Now, just hear me out. I got another theory. The reason why I'm saying he might be Uta is because we do know Uta does get his information from inside of CCG. And it would be so easy in the conflict that's currently going on right now with how CCG is fighting the Tsukiyama family. It would be so easy for a ghoul that can change their face. Uta, we know he can change his face. We've seen examples of this. Go back to the previous auction raid arc. If you look at that, you'll see it. We know Uta can change his face. And it could be possible in the conflict of the ongoing battle, a ghoul that could change their face could slip in and betray as someone else. That is a possibility. But, here's another thing, okay? Another thing you need to pull out of this is the way this dude talks. It doesn't sound like something Uta would say, which I have to agree, but which will lead into my 3rd theory, so I'm saving that one for last. But getting back into the Uta theory, seeing this also, you have to wonder, if Uta is this person, you have to look at the correlation between these two. Look at the name, of Furuta and Uta. Fu-ru-ta. Now remove the F-U-R of Furuta and just leave the last. And then use Uta's name. You get Uta. Name puns are not beneath Ashita. He has done it in the past. He will use names and he'll swap around certain names or letters, and then it will reveal a certain name. So it's not beneath Ashita to imply that Furuta could be Uta, because of the final part of his name. Uta in both names. But there is another one. Let's get into the third one. This is the most probable theory that it could be. And this is why I'm saving it for last. This is the one that it most likely certainly is. Like, what Furuta really is as a person. So, okay. Furuta could be Souta. Now, I know for a fact many manga readers that don't know or probably don't reread the series as much as probably some of us do might not know who Souta is. And I mean, I understand you probably wouldn't, majority wouldn't, because it's not a character that's had a lot of screen time or has been really relevant to the ongoing events right now. I mean, he is relevant, but in terms of the plot at this moment, he's not really relevant. So many probably don't even know this dude's name. So I'm going to let you know who this is. If you go to Google and type in Tokyo Ghoul Souta, S-O-U-T-A, just type that in, go to Wiki, you will find out who this dude is. Now, if you backtrack to part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, I have the Wiki pulled up here. Souta is a clown. And let's just, first things first, point out the name. Souta. I messed up the pronunciation, but you get my point. He has Uta in his name. Think about it. Souta has Uta in his name, and who else has Uta in their name? Besides Uta, of course. Furuta. Uta, you know, Furuta, Souta. Their final part of their names are linked together. And we do know when it comes to manga or literature in Japan, they love using names like that. They love swapping names. I've seen it so many times. So that right there just pinpoints the correlation between Souta and Furuta. But that's not just it either. There's more. Souta has never had his face revealed. His face has never been revealed. He is a no-face. Very fitting for a character to fit into CCG that we don't know. He's been with us the entire time. He's an enemy among us, but we don't know who he is. See, Souta has never had his face revealed. And as we know, he was the one that really fucked over Kaneki in part 1. He does the peace symbol to Kaneki at the beginning of the series, or at the end of the series, but he is the one that really orchestrated the entire start of Tokyo Ghoul. Remember the clown at the end of part 1? And remember Kaneki remembers that clown? That's the clown. Souta. Now, let's go back and think about something, okay? Let's go back to part 1. I went back to check myself just to make sure. In part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, in the first gourmet restaurant, you remember the gourmet restaurant arc in the first 30 chapters of Tokyo Ghoul? Well, if you go back to that arc, you will see in the conversation in that arc, in the stands and stuff, you'll see Souta, the guy I'm just talking about, talk to Shu. And he says, MM. Now, I think after saying that, that probably already lets you know where I'm going with this. Who says MM in this chapter of Tokyo Ghoul? Furuta. He says, Miss MM. You want to know why this is weird? We already knew Furuta was strange to begin with when we saw him grab his fellow colleague and just throw him in front of Matsume. He was already strange enough. But then seeing how he said Miss MM is weird. It's not just because Souta says MM as well, but because of the length of time that the Tsukiyama family has been found out. Think about this. The Tsukiyama family's only been known about for just a couple hours, maybe a day at the maximum. It's just not long at all. That is not enough time for them to uncover the connection of the Tsukiyama family to the gourmet restaurant. That is not enough time, let alone finding out their secret names, like MM. There's no way in fuck CCG could get that amount of information that quickly. Let alone these lower subordinates, like someone like Furuta. So thinking about it like that, it's strange how he says Miss MM. And what's even stranger is, we do know Souta, he constantly visited the gourmet restaurant. And that would mean he would know the names of certain ghouls that went by nicknames. MM would be Shu, Miss MM would be Matsume, that probably controlled the gourmet restaurant in Shu's stead when he wasn't there. You get my point. So, we already have pretty much enough evidence to say that Furuta is Souta. He is the unmasked ghoul. He is the ghoul that we have never saw his face. We do know Souta has acting skills as well. Remember when we were first introduced to him, he was acting in a way to where he was kind of deceiving this girl to come to the gourmet restaurant to be served up as food. Remember, that was the first time we ever saw Souta. He was using this girl, playing with her, for instance, just messing with her, saying, like, I'll marry you. He led her to the restaurant, and then she got served up as a meal. So he can act, and we know Furuta can act as well. Look at how he was acting in this chapter. Acting like a pansy, and then turning around and acting like a cold-hearted badass. Yeah, strange. So yeah, there is a lot of correlation between these two characters. And I think we all see that now. So, even though the Uta Fury, that's one of the biggest stretches, we do know now that there's more evidence to support that Souta equal Furuta. He is the spy. He is the spy. Or, it could be V. V Clown. Who the fuck knows? But, still. That is the evidence we have so far. We also do know that this dude, Furuta, has appeared before in the past of Tokyo Ghoul. When Toka went to the university, Kami, and she went there, she met this person that appeared to be a student. This person that appeared to be a student is Furuta. Now, why would Furuta be at a university? Why? Why would Furuta be at a university? Especially something, or someplace where Toka is going. As we do know, the clown loved fucking with Kaneki. They wanted to know about Kaneki, they wanted a tragedy. We know that was the entirety of why they even did what they did to Kaneki to begin with. So what better way to keep tabs on Kaneki than to keep tabs on his friends as well? Toka. So yeah, Furuta has been appearing in part 1 as well. He's not a character that just appeared out of nowhere. Furuta has appeared in part 1, but also he's probably Souta. And also the main person that caused Kaneki to go through so much fucking hell. So if Kaneki / Sasuke finds out about this, he's gonna rip that dude up a new asshole. Enough said. Okay, so I'm gonna move on now. I think I've given enough evidence to support this. Now there is something I mentioned on Twitter just a bit ago, and I'm going to mention it right now. I'll probably make a separate video for this, but actually, the reason why I'll make a separate video, I'm going to explain this first. The reason why I'll make a separate video on what I'm about to say is probably because it doesn't really pertain to the general topic of this video, of this chapter, chapter 50. It's mainly a theory I just discovered while rereading the chapters, more about Uta and his mole. If you go back to, you know, the earlier chapters of the auction raid with Uta meeting Mutsuki, you have it to where, remember when Uta talks to Mutsuki about the operation, how it failed? Well, I have a theory about that. Because why would Uta be wrong? So, I have a theory about that. I will probably be making a video on that very soon. But for now, though, let's move on. I think I've said enough evidence of how he's just really strong. There's no way he could be a human. The way he did that to Matsume is just messed up. I mean, how he said MM, it's just something unnatural. So, yeah. Okay, so we move over to Shu and Sasuke's fight. We get to see their fight going on, which I'm glad we get to see that in this chapter, because I was really upset we didn't see that last chapter. Even though it was crazy shit last chapter, I want to see more of my Shu. And there's something very concerning about this chapter, which I will discuss, and it's going to be one of my final segments of this video. But the fight rages on. Shu and Sasuke are fighting, and as they fight, you have it to where Shu is just calling Sasuke a dove. He's not even calling him by Sasuke. He's not even calling him by Kaneki. He's just calling him a dove. Which, once again, emphasizes the point I said 2 chapters ago with how Shu has finally given up the death of Kaneki. For instance, he's moved on. And now he looks at Sasuke as an entirely new person, and he doesn't have nothing to do with him. Like, he doesn't think they're the same people. So, seeing the fight go on, you just see it to where Shu attacks Sasuke. He stabs straight through his Kagane. Sasuke barely blocks. And it looks like Shu has the upper hand. I mean, he's just fucking whooping the shit out of Sasuke. And this is what Shu says in his mind. I will defeat you. Die. And then this is what he says. I'm sorry, Sasuke. You, who should have been going through life peacefully, I brought it all to naught. I want to point out how Shu is addressing Sasuke. He's calling him Sasuke. Think about how this arc started. Shu started calling Sasuke Kaneki. He's like, Kaneki, you're Kaneki, aren't you? You're Kaneki. Even though you go by a different name, you're Kaneki. Just look how he's addressing Sasuke now. He's not even calling him Kaneki. He's calling him Sasuke. So once again, just want to point out, shows you how Shu has moved on. That character progression. Now, continuing on with his inner monologue. Kijima, I think I finally understand what you really meant. I am a bit... No. I feel so lonely, now that we have become strangers to each other. Once again emphasizing the point that Sasuke is a different person. And then he's like, opera! And then he's like, thinking in his mind, right, a feint with his left. A kick that seeks an opening, with a coiled up Kagane. So let's talk about this. What this panel implies goes to show you how much love, or how much Shu paid attention to Kaneki in the past. He watched all of Kaneki's fighting abilities. For instance, how he fought, how he used to kick, how he used to fight different people. Shu watched this, so he knows what type of fighting style Kaneki used in the past. And when he sees Sasuke doing this, he knows his fighting pattern. He knows what type of pattern he's going to use. And that's kind of how Shu has the upper hand in this fight, because he knows what type of pattern, Sasuke's going to use in his fighting style. So, it makes a lot of sense how Shu is overpowering Sasuke. Because, I mean, if you knew someone's fighting style, it makes a lot of sense. It does. So, and then he predicts Sasuke's next move, a large swing strike. He predicts what Sasuke's going to do next, which he strikes at Sasuke, and it looks like he's about to cut him in half. That's just how bad it looks. And it's kind of sad seeing this, because Shu's having to use tactics against Sasuke, the person he admired, thought of as a friend. He finally thought of as a friend instead of food. He's having to use these against him. And it just goes to show you what type of loneliness he's probably feeling right now, while having to do this to a friend he once admired. And one thing after that, like right after that, Sasuke's on top of Shu. And this is probably the main point I want to talk about too. The final big portion I want to talk about in this video. As Sasuke's on top of Shu, he points his blade at Shu's throat. He's about to take his life. This is a very bad situation. No matter who you are, this is bad. Shu on the ground, and Sasuke, I was going to say Kaneki, Sasuke sweating. Shu says this, as he's on the ground. You really are strong after all. And then, what's wrong, Heisei Sasuke? Kill me. So Shu is saying, kill me. What's wrong? Kill me. That's what Shu is saying. And while that happens, Sasuke has a mental breakdown. He is having a mental breakdown. In his mind, his head hurts. And as soon as after that, if you look at the little panel, you see it where it says, don't kill him, 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 don't kill him. That's little Kaneki, White Shironeki, saying, don't kill him, don't kill him. And then Sasuke says this. This ain't Kaneki now saying this. This is Sasuke now saying it. What am I supposed to do? And then in his mind, Kaneki is saying, choose, choose. And then Sasuke's like, just what am I supposed to do? I mean, he's having an internal struggle with his own thoughts right now. And then all of a sudden, his hand gets cut off. Okay. I don't want to point out the obvious here, but I will anyways. At the beginning of this video, I talked about how history will repeat itself. That's what we're seeing here. Not a retelling, as how Ashita loves doing parallels to other chapters, but in a way of history repeating itself because you have forgotten. Once again, Sasuke / Kaneki has made the same mistake. You want to know what this mistake is? Not choosing. The panel of him saying, I don't know what to do, just what am I supposed to do? And then you see choose, choose, choose. This emphasizes the weakness that Kaneki had in part 1. You remember the mother and child in part 1 of Tokyo Ghoul with Jason? The torture scene? Where Kaneki was supposed to choose? And if he didn't choose, they would both die. He didn't choose, they both died. As we know, in Tokyo Ghoul, when a character is given an option of a choice, and the character does not choose, he'll be forced to choose, or he will lose both choices. And that is what he's getting here right now. You know what he's losing? What I assume he's losing? He's going to lose Sasuke. His personality. Sasuke is going to die. That's what one thing he's going to lose. The second, he's going to lose Shu. And Shu is going to become his Quinke. It's already been implied before. When you don't choose in Tokyo Ghoul, usually your choices are chose for you, which turns out bad. We are at a turning point, everybody. This is the turning point of this arc. He did not choose. His arm getting severed off also has some symbolism I want to point out. The symbolism behind this arm being cut off could be where your final helping hand is removed. For instance, how someone reaches out to help you. Like, for instance, like, if someone's reaching down, like you're below them and they're above you, and they're reaching their hand down to help you and grab your hand and pull you up, that's gone. Because let's explain what this looks like in this page. Look at how this arm with... forget all the puns of how he's been disarmed, okay? Let's just throw the fucking giggles and shit out of the way. Let's actually look at the seriousness of this panel. When his arm gets cut off, the way it is drawn, it's flipping. And his arm is pointing downward. Now, as I just said, what happens usually when someone's trying to lend a hand? They usually are above you and they hold their hand down trying to help you out. What is Sasuke's hand? Where is it at in this panel? Of course, it's cut off. I mean, if you look at it literally. But his hand is gone. For instance, he will no longer get the helping hand from Shu. He will no longer get that helping hand to remember. Or he is dead. You get my point. The panel emphasizes that hand, he can no longer grasp that hand to move on. It's gone. Shu is gone. So that symbolism from Ashita, fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. I love that shit. I love that shit so much. So I think that's about it. I think that wraps up everything. I have covered everything I wanted to cover. There is a tarot card, of course, but depending on how many of you want that, I will mention that. But chapter fucking amazing. Like, seriously. How could you not love TG after some of the symbolism to the fucking meaning of some of these chapters? I mean, look at this shit, dude. The fucking hand symbolism to making the past mistakes, history repeating itself, to Furuta and then Souta. There's just so much crazy shit in this series. How could anyone dislike Tokyo Ghoul? I mean, everybody has their opinion, of course, but still, it's crazy. But yeah, a great chapter like always. And, oh yeah, one thing I want to quickly mention. I mentioned at the last part of my video last week that would you guys like me to split the videos up? I mentioned that. And judging by the feedback I got from everybody, like there was a bunch of feedback, and I quickly want to say thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. I cannot thank you enough for that. I am honored you all would give me feedback like that. Many of you said, it's fine, you don't need to split your video up. We like it all in one length. Many of you said they love just starting the video and playing it while they do something, kind of like a podcast. So I'm very thankful for that. Thank you so much for everybody giving me feedback on that. And I'm so thankful so many of you love these long videos I make. Even though I made a mistake last week, I'm still thankful you all, like, it means so much to me. It really does. I cannot even begin to let you understand how much that means to me, just knowing how much you all care about these long videos, how much work I put into them. It's so much fun, and just to see how many of you appreciate that, thank you. So yeah, I'm going to end this video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.